In the endless whisper of the Sahara's dunes, where the sun bled crimson into the horizon, Elias Thorne knelt in the blistering heat. His weathered hands, etched like ancient scrolls with the scars of a nomad's life, sifted through the golden grains. At 78, Elias was a shadow of the men who had once chased mirages across these very sands, laughing with the wind. Now, he wandered alone, a Bedouin elder whose tribe had long since scattered like thistle seeds in a storm. His eyes, faded to the hue of storm clouds, scanned the horizon not for water or shelter, but for ghosts. It was the medallion that stopped him, a glint of silver half buried in the sand, catching the dying light like a fallen star. Elias froze, his heart a drumbeat against ribs frail as dry reeds. He brushed away the grains with trembling fingers, revealing the curve of a young woman's neck, pale and dust-streaked. She lay motionless, her raven hair fanned out like spilled ink, her chest rising in shallow, defiant breaths. Raiders, perhaps, or the merciless thirst of the desert had claimed her. But it was the medallion that pierced him, a delicate crescent moon etched with vines, cradling a tiny sapphire that had once belonged to his wife. Leora, he whispered, the name a prayer torn from the depths of his soul. He leaned closer, the scent of jasmine and salt rising from her skin, and lifted the chain with the reverence of a pilgrim touching holy ground. The engraving inside the locket, "To my moon, from the stars," confirmed what his heart had screamed. It was her. His daughter. The girl he had lost to the world's cruel tides 20 years ago. Elias's mind fractured into memories, vivid as the mirages that danced before him. Leora had been born under a harvest moon in their tented village on the edge of the Erd Chebbi dunes. From her first cry, she was light incarnate, eyes like polished onyx, laughter that coaxed blooms from barren soil. Elias, a storyteller by trade, wove tales for her each night, epics of jinn who granted wishes in exchange for forgotten songs, of lovers who bridged oceans with threads of fate. "You are my greatest story, Habibti," he would say, pressing the medallion, his late wife Aisha's gift, into her tiny palm. "Wear it always, and it will guide you home." But fate, that fickle weaver, had other threads. When Leora was 16, war's shadow fell over their lands. Raiders from the north, hungry for oil-black gold beneath the sands, razed villages in fire and fury. Elias fought like a lion, his scimitar singing through the night, but in the chaos, he was separated from Leora. He searched for months, his voice hoarse from calling her name into canyons that echoed only silence. Whispers reached him, a girl with raven hair, taken by slavers to the coastal cities, sold into shadows. Grief hollowed him, turning his tales to ash. He became a wanderer, trading stories for scraps, his heart a locked chest buried deep. Yet Leora had not surrendered to the darkness. In the underbelly of Marrakesh's souks, she learned the art of survival, not with blades, but with words. Her father's stories became her armor, she spun them into secrets for the powerful, unraveling lies for the desperate. By day, she mended silks in hidden ateliers, by night, she navigated the labyrinth of alliances, her medallion a talisman against despair. It was there, in a spice merchant's den, that she met Jamal, a poet with eyes like the Nile at dawn. He saw not the scars of her chains, but the fire in her spirit. "You are a verse unfinished," he told her, and in his arms, she found fragments of home. Their love bloomed fierce and forbidden. Jamal, son of a rival clan, dreamed of a world beyond vendettas. Together, they plotted escape, a caravan to the west, toward the Atlantic's promise. But betrayal lurked in every shadow. One moonless night, as they fled into the dunes, Jamal's kin ambushed them. Bullets tore the air like vengeful spirits. Jamal fell, his blood staining the sand crimson, his last breath a vow, "Live for us both, my moon." Leora, wounded and raging, dragged herself into the wastes, the medallion her only anchor. Days blurred into delirium, heatstrokes fevered grip, visions of her father's face in the stars. She collapsed here, in this forsaken hollow, whispering his name like a lullaby. Elias's tears fell like rare desert rain, carving rivulets in the dust on her cheek. He cradled her head, his voice a low chant of old Berber songs, the ones that called spirits from the earth. "Wake, Habibti. The story isn't over." With hands that had once built empires of sandcastles, he fashioned a shelter from his cloak, coaxing drops of water from his goatskin flask onto her cracked lips. Hours stretched into eternity, the night sky unfolding like a velvet tapestry studded with diamonds. And then, a flutter, her eyelids, fragile as moth wings, parted. "Father." Leora's voice was a thread, frayed but unbroken. Her gaze locked on his, recognition igniting like flint on steel. She reached for the medallion, fingers intertwining with his. I dreamed of you, every dune, every storm. Elias's sob shattered the silence. And I of you, my light. The sands tried to steal you, but they couldn't erase our bond. He held her as the first stars pierced the veil, recounting the years in whispers, the tribes he had joined, the tales he had told of a daughter who danced with the wind. Leora shared her odyssey, the chains that forged her strength, the love that taught her to grieve without breaking, the unyielding pull of the medallion that led her back. Dawn painted the dunes in hues of rose and amber, a new chapter etched in light. Elias lifted her gently, her weight a balm to his weary frame. They walked, slow, deliberate steps, toward a distant oasis where smoke curled from nomad fires. Word spread like wildfire through the caravans, the lost daughter returned, the storyteller's miracle. Elders gathered, children wide-eyed, as Elias began his greatest tale yet, not of loss, but of reunion. Leora's hand in his, the medallion warm against her chest, she added verses of her own, of resilience blooming in barren places, of love that defies the grave. In the heart of the Sahara, where sands swallow secrets and spit out legends, father and daughter forged a new path. The desert, vast and unforgiving, had tested them to the marrow. But in its cradle, they found not endings, but beginnings. For some stories, Elias knew, are written not in ink, but in the unbreakable silver of a father's faith and a daughter's fire. And as the sun climbed high, casting their shadows long and entwined, the echoes in the sand sang on, eternal, unbroken, alive. Thank you for watching this story till the end. Sparkles. If it touched your heart, please support us. Thumbs up, give it a like. Speech balloon, share your thoughts in the comments. Bell, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. Your support helps us create more stories that inspire and make you believe in miracles. Your participation means a lot to us, Red Heart.